in the USA, where else there used to be a guy who would show up to county fairs, their shows and drag racing events in what can only be described as a nitro-powered school bus. This yellow rectangle defied conventional aerodynamics by just muscling the atmosphere out of its way, as it thundered down the quarter-mile, usually just onto back wheels, shooting fireworks all the way to a comfortable 12-second pass. While it may sound like the sideshow plot of a Dukes of Hazzard episode, the school bus is the perfect cultural simile to the 2017 Mercedes AMG GLS63. Sure, it isn't yellow, but the 580 horsepower, four-wheel drive, seven-seater school-run machine completes the standing 400M in about the same time as that 1000 HP, wheelie-hopping yellow bus. And while it can't shoot fireworks, it sounds like it can, and that's just as important. It is a monstrous consumption device, devouring fuel, tires, brakes and tarmac as fast as its 2,580 kilograms will allow. And at $219,950, all prices are noted before auctions, and on-road costs the ride isn't cheap. As an actor on a stage, the GL63 plays all parts in Beauty and the Beast. The AMG body styling, 22-inch vane wheels and recent front and rear lamp and fascia updates are for belt. The daring but still comfortable, luxurious and well-equipped interior represent the castle, and that 430 kilowatts, 760 Nm twin-turbocharged 5.5-liter V8 is pure beast. The thing is, it's also as obnoxious as Gaston, and as sensible as the talking teapot. Updated midway through last year, the GL's range starts at $117,950 for the GL's 350D. That's more than $100,000 less for the same platform vehicle. We'll even be fair and suggest the $136,950 GL's 350D Sport, which matches the muscular look and lengthy equipment list of the 63, at an $83,000 saving. That's the same 7-seat interior layout, the same generation Mercedes-Benz dashboard, the same powered steering column, the same number of airbags, 7, including full-length side impact curtains, the same light of side steps, and even the same standard sunroof. You even score 2 extra gear ratios in the lesser models, as they have the newer 9-speed 9G-tronic automatic transmission, where the GL63 has the 7-speed speed shift plus 7G-tronic. It's almost inconsequential anyway, as I'd wager most GL's Benz ES never wander out of the D setting. The COM and the infotainment system works just as well, all the driver assistance technology and other gizmos operate the same. Even the powered folding but manual unfolding seats to get access to the third row are just as heavy and annoying as in the lower grade car. In fact, if you ignore the extra wump under the bonnet, the GL63 scores only a few extra luxuries for its $83K premium. Massage seats, heated and cooled cup holders, soft closed doors. You know, the essentials. If you are genuinely in the market for a GL's, the 350D Sport is the sensible car. You can read our review of it here, or even the moderately less sensible GL's 500 here. That urban speeds the diesel 350 basically has everything and does everything the big AMG does. It is the better car. But let's face it, I'm here, you're here, not to chatter about sensible 7-seaters but to talk about power. Lots and lots of power. And in this regard the GL63 delivered like FedEx. Tried some maps on for size. The 430 kilowatts V8, an improvement on the much more pedestrian 410 kilowatts in a re-update GL63, has the energy delivering equivalent of 370 million calories per hour. That's the same as burning through 750,000 Big Macs every 60 minutes. Take into account the 2,580 kilograms mass of the Mercedes, and you get an energy density of 143 calories per gram of GL's. Pure fat only contains 9 calories per gram, which means the 63 brand dishes energy 16 times that of pure fat. If you know your maths, you'll know that 16 is a fourth power number, often called the tesseract. So, yeah, the GLS is convolutedly related to the cube that powers a whole bunch of Marvel movie plots. Mic drop. In practical terms though, the experience of nailing the throttle and rocketing to 100 km/h in under 5 seconds is enough to make you wish you hadn't had one of those Big Macs, let alone 750,000 of them. You can change gears with the steering wheel mounted paddles if you want something to do, but to be honest, the gearbox is best left to just do its thing. The speed shift transmission is still the conventional automatic but uses a series of clutches rather than a torque converter to transfer drive. Shift timing and harshness adapt to the chosen drive mode, and it is smooth and swift enough in any setting that you don't need to worry much more about it. No one buying the GL63 has ever asked how it works, so don't be the first. From standing start, the wet clutches slip and the big GL squats slightly on its air suspension, sets off an explosion from the exhaust, and the images rushing past the windscreen start to blur, until you come to a corner. I'll preface this by saying when you drive the GL's like a regular person doing regular things, it handles quite well for an upper large SUV. The ride is comfortable, but not supremely plush, and there's a sense of mass as you motor along, but it's an easy and relaxed cruiser. Try to do the same thing when the accelerator is approaching the horizontal, and things change. This isn't a corner car. Tip it into a bend, and the high center of gravity and husky nature of the Mercedes result in a top-heavy sensation for all occupants. The car features the active curve suspension system, which actually helps mitigate roll-through corners, and while it works to a certain extent, the sheer pace of the 63 all but overcomes it. It's not as though the car has reached its handling limit though. The 22-inch wheels and 285mm wide tires provide excellent grip. The barrier is more one of passenger comfort. With an enthusiastic driver behind the wheel, the GL63 has the soft promise of a Ferris wheel but the reality of a gravitron. Much of these stomach-tightening G-forces come from the almost instantaneous response from the twin-turbo V8. All 760 Nm can be requested from barely an idle at 1,750 rpm. This is an improvement, however subtle, over the older car's 2,000 rpm. And like all good things, or a truckload of Big Macs, this is extremely addictive. Stomp on the pedal, surge forward into hyperspace with a Wookiee-like growl, back off with requisite crackles and pops from the exhaust. Rinse. Repeat. You are the Hot Rod School Bus. Ultimate energy equations and powerful shenanigans come at a cost though. The GL63 has a 100-liter fuel tank, which for a little bit of context would power my father's Volvo 308 wagon for close to 2,500 kilometers. That's enough to drive from Melbourne to Hamilton Island or Live Beach in the Whitsundays. Conversely, the GL63, when driven by me, can make just 20% of that journey. Driving in convoy with Robert jaunting off to relax in the sun, I'd be stuck in Wagga Wagga. A minor exaggeration, maybe, as casual cruising will see the fuel sit at 12.9 L/100 km. But during bar time with the car, a brief stint of throttle usage saw this rise quickly to over 20 L/100 km. And by the end of the week the big white Benzo was approaching the 30 L/100 km mark. Amusingly, you can only get a point summary of this. There is no fuel consumption over time graph like in other Mercedes cars. You don't even get the echo graph in the central instrument display, or an echo drive mode. It is as though during the engineering briefing, someone heard you don't want to know when it came to fuel consumption and took it literally. Bottom line, it's a lot. Speaking of drive modes too, the individual setting 1 of 5, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus and Snow is the only one you need. Comfort dulls the throttle response and should be called by the GLS350. Sport is pointless and Sport Plus only good to demonstrate why you should never use it due to the change to stiff suspension settings. With this active, the car tends to thump over every surface change and you lose the comfortable nature of a luxury SUV. Set up individual with Sport Plus performance and comfort suspension, and you get the full complement of planet rotating power, but with a comfortable suspension tune so you can't feel any consequences of your actions. You can monster around, flying over the dreams of people less important than you, chilling your frappuccino while receiving the massage, your only decision, where next to fill up. Look, the 2017 Mercedes AMG GLS63 might not be a very sensible car, in any measurable way, but it is a great car in every measurable way. Just like that school bus. The 63 makes up the smidge over 8% of all GLS sales. 93 GLS63 sold in 2016 against 1129 GLS total. That's 8% of people who care not about trivial things like value or economy, but instead feel they need to be the ones to keep the dream of a draft racing school bus alive. There is no point or need for a car like this, and that is what makes it so much fun. The only thing that would make it better and yet even more stupid is a GLS65 V12 version. Oh yeah,